Drill Tunes.
We all gonna do is die, so it makes sense.
100.
I appreciate that plug too, because we already paid you, so that helped my business when it comes to the life insurance.
You said you do what?
I appreciate that plug in now, because with you being an influencer, you know, and a lot of people, they hear it and talk to them, but until they hear somebody that is known and that they respect on a different type of level, hear somebody like you and your status be able to really give the importance of life insurance and really break that down. I know that's going to change people's mindset. There's somebody now that I can impact, or somebody else in my profession that can impact, because now they've heard you. So,
you sell life insurance?
Hey, yeah, I'm gonna put that. You get one more.
They always say what?
I know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I appreciate that. And I always tell my clients, that's the biggest part of your financial plan. When you get into the stock market, which is great, but your foundation, and they don't know, that's a big part. Like you said, that's one of the highest ways to bring back generational wealth. It's either through, you know, God forbid you pass, or you stay alive and then you wind up using it as, you know, a tax-free source, you know, to pull from for your real estate investments. Yeah. So segueing from that, say, I know a lot, we're talking about real estate, and you are getting a lot of notoriety right now in real estate. How are your real estate assets providing outlets for you to add other assets to your portfolio?
I mean, after a while, when you got income producing property, the bank see it as
Collateral.
income and not debt. So, you know, if we was to buy single homes, you know, to live in big $4 million, $3 million houses instead of $1 million building here, $2 million building here, $1 million building here, it'll show up on your credit as $4 million in debt. But because it's an income property, that $1 million debt, that's a 30-year mortgage, is actually showing up as a $2,000 a month income because of the leases outweigh the mortgage. And then the other, you know, $2.5 million unit is showing up as $8,000 of income instead of $2.5 million of debt. So the more you accumulate, you go back to the bank and your income is stronger every time you close. And you just gotta come with your down payments and do it again. But then, you know, it's different ways of going at it. I wouldn't even call myself the expert. You know what I mean? I don't own 500 units, you know, 500 pieces of property. But, you know, as far as me being a hip hop artist and being transparent with what I'm doing with my surplus and what I'm doing with my investment, that's what I believe in, and I'm leaning toward real estate, you know. Because I've even been told that you might get a unit that, or a building that has 50 units, instead of going to get 10 buildings that got 5 units, or 5 buildings that got 10 units. Because if the plumbing go bad on one of your buildings, you know, you still got 4 other buildings, and you gotta go hit this one building. So it's a potential that throughout the year, 5 plumbers gonna go bad, 5 roofs gonna go bad, 5, you know, just maintenance issues. Where if you got this one building that got 500 units, it's only one set of plumbing for the same amount of units and the same amount of rent. It's only one roof. You know what I mean? So it's just different ways of going at it. But I think income producing real estate, you can't go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. I know we were reading the Forbes article, and it talked a lot about some of the things that you're doing with your business partner. How did you become so comfortable, you know, with co-investing with someone in something as big as real estate?
I think that you gotta read people, and you gotta vet people. You know what I mean? In business, you gotta trust somebody, but you gotta verify, you know, before you just put your money in anything. And you know, it's not hard to do background checks on people and find people references and just check what's real, and then you go off your spirit and your gut too. You know, but I'm not loose with my investments or my partners at all, you know. But just in the situation with Dave, you know, the demonstration matched up to what the conversation was, you know, and, you know, everything through a bank, everything through a contract, everything get notarized. And so we done things on top of the line. We didn't do no like backdoor business, everything was official. And so far, so good, everything what it said is going. But just with I've been doing business for a long time, and you know, you never know. You're gonna shake somebody's hand, look them in their eyes, say you're gonna agree to your terms, and then time gonna tell you the rest. And some people more honorable than others, and some people more reliable and consistent with their word than others. But, you know, that's the nature of the world we live in. So you just develop, you know, a filter for BS, and I think I'm pretty good at that.
Even what you build your filters, this is a good question too, because you know me and April are basically, we're co-investors. We have the power privilege, which is the umbrella, and then I have the finance, she has real estate. And a lot of times we're both strongly opinionated. Like, this lady right here, she gonna be in her way and stuck in that way, and she see this way, she see it, you know, going that way, and that's the way she wants to go. And then sometimes I have things where I'm like, you know what, I see that, and I rock with you, so I'm gonna support you, but I think it needs to go this direction. I love you too, by the way. How do you, in some of your business relationships, how have you experienced being able to balance that and finding a meeting ground so that way the overall objective is still met?
I don't know, I'm easy to work with. I'm like, you don't gotta make things harder than they have to be. Life is hard enough naturally, you can make things simple. I just believe in that. Whether it's a producer I'm working with, a musician, an artist, business, let's simplify everything. You know, what's my role? Cool, what's your role? Cool. I'm gonna handle mine, you know, you do that. If we can't move like that, I don't want to do no business with you. They don't have to be hard. You know what I mean? Shit can be real simple. But then as far as disagreements, we don't always gonna see eye to eye. But we grown, you know what I mean? And we know how to disagree. And we know how to pick our battles. And if it's something I'm more passionate about and I'm standing up protesting, it's gonna ride my way. If it's something my partner more passionate about and they like, nah, this is something I believe in, that's why we partners. Cool, I'm gonna ride with you.
I think we're very unique, and it's funny. He and I actually met in the studio. I used to own a music production company and studio in Austin, and he was one of the producers, and he happened to be in finance, and I happened to be in real estate. I don't own a studio anymore. He still makes beats, but we collaborate in another way and share in creativity, which I feel like really helps us work together as partners through the real estate and finance.
And with that, that's good because we saw you at the GQ magazine, which was dope, by the way. And congratulations. We're blessed because we got set up nice with this. You know, we had you booked today, you dropped, you know, Forbes yesterday, and then GQ today. Like, it's a blessing. It's all about alignment, the way things have been lining up. But with the GQ magazine, you are basically reshaping what the businessman looks like. And that's dope for me, especially because, you know, I'm going to be in a suit a lot of times when I'm doing business, but I'm going to have my locks. They're going to be in a bun. They're going to be down. I got my earrings in. And a lot of times some people will count me out for just not give me the opportunity to speak to them on a different, you know, level, and they would somebody else. I want to know, how do you feel paving the way, being one of the people paving the way for other people that might look like us, that still can handle business, and how does that feel when you have experienced, you know, things maybe not being able to go your way because you were judged, maybe off the way you looked?
So you said, how did I feel about that, or give you any, or you want me to tell you a time that I was judged by how I looked?
That'd be dope.
All right. So when I first started doing music professionally, I got signed to Epic Records in 2007, and before that, I was just independent, me and my brothers, my team. And, you know, we was just out the trunk, dropping off CDs in all the liquor stores in the area, all the swap meets, you feel me, all the little mom and pop record stores. And we'd give them consignment and come back and check in if we dropped off 20 CDs and, you know, 15 there, then they owe us $50, you know what I mean? And so we was printing up posters and, you know, we had a little strategy. We were renting out clubs and performing and selling tickets and all that. So when we got to the label, we signed the deal and they had a marketing meeting. And I'm like, yeah, what's the information? Send me the info. And they're like, oh, the artist don't come to the marketing meeting. And you know, that kind of like threw me off and offended me. It was like, I'm like, is this just the way it's handled in the music industry, or I ain't understand that. And then, you know, they start just making executive decisions, just about things that I wouldn't have done it like that. Like, I remember they had a website and, you know, they had like 2 guns that was going back and forth and it was like smoking coming out of these guns. And I'm like, yeah, I get it, you know what I'm saying? I know that where I come from, what I represent my music and just as myself, you can interpret it like that, but I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't put no smoking guns on top of my website. That ain't when I'm fully like promoting. It is guns, it's shootings that take place. You know, in my music, you'll hear about that, right? But that's not the way I would express it as like a cool little widget at the top of my website. And so just things like that, I got turned off with not being involved in the creative side of it, just the market, really. And later on, I found out that like that's just the structure of the industry and of the labels. But you know, I made a marketing plan called Proud to Pay, and ended up, you know, being like historical, selling a $100 CD and, you know, making an impact just on the marketing level like that. And so it's like, damn, you know, anybody in that label that would have came with one of them ideas in the meeting, you get promoted on them as a marketer or just somebody in a situation environment like that for an idea like that. So the fact that I wasn't allowed in marketing meetings and I had ideas like that, it just, to me, I'm like, you know, oh y'all misjudge me. That's like a perception of a rapper or a street dude. Like, I don't have valuable opinion outside of entertainment, outside of tap dancing, singing, rapping, whatever.
Right.
And I was offended by that. I took offense to that. And then, from another point of view, you know, it's not on you to sing. And I believe you don't know what's up with a person based on how they look. You can judge and have your assumptions, but you know, people will throw you off on purpose. People will dress down on purpose. People will just, you know, control your perception of how they present themselves. So you don't know what's the real truth of a person until you tap in and you know what I mean, engage. So I carry that also. Like if I'm walking in a business environment and I might have an unorthodox look on for this environment,
Drill 2.